The Indian two-wheeler space is of course one of the fastest growing and one of the largest markets in the world, and yet many analysts will tell you that the true potential of it is yet to be arrived at. Within that, we've seen the customer also now giving you a lot more preference for bigger CC bikes. There's also a wider variety of products, and perhaps that's where the potential truly lies. And today we have the arrival of yet another new brand in the country at a time when, of course, it's not just the economy but also the Indian automobile space that is looking to severely ramp up in 2015. Joining me are two gentlemen who represent DSK Benelli. We've got Shirish Kulkarni from the DSK group in Pune, and also with us is George Wang, who is the director of the board at Benelli. Good to have both of you. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start off by asking you first, Shirish, about this foray with yet another new brand, because in the motorcycle space, as I mentioned, there has been we've been waiting for the big thing to happen. We're starting to see that shift now. So do you think this is good timing for you?
Absolutely, it's great timing because there were so many manufacturers present already in the market. More importantly, the market is being educated, so that's very important. I remember 3 years ago when we just started off with the Korean brand. It was difficult to explain people as to why superbikes exist and why the pricing. But today that's not the case. People just are accepting it. As long as you have a good product and of course backed up by a good brand, it's becoming easier by the day.
For Benelli as a brand, of course, there's a huge history. But today, what is the kind of expectation you have for its growth? India, of course, is one part of that. But globally, how do you see the brand growing?
After our group, Tianjiang Group, purchased Benelli company, this brand we extend a lot of countries, even more than before. Benelli controlled by Italian family. So not only our strategy is that not only the niche for the niche market, but also for the high volume segment. So this is our group strategy to let Benelli become more and more famous, to let more and more people can have the capacity to use this motorcycle.
George, I have to ask you, unlike some of the other brands which have entered India, you have chosen to come in with a partner. What advantages do you see? Why did you feel that you needed to come in with a partner and not independently?
Actually, this is one kind of the important strategy of our group, because different countries have different culture. And if we enter this market, first we must supply the exactly product which the market, which the consumers need. I think DSK Group is the best partner to cooperate, because they give us a lot of consultant, they give a lot of help, they give a lot of effort, support to our group in order to produce the product which exactly fit this market. So we think to cooperate with a partner, the local partner, is extremely important.
Do you think it was also important to have more than one product at the start and not start with one, then build it up? Because we've seen that with some of the other bikes coming in, it's always now a larger portfolio approach. Do you think that's important in India, to have more than one product at the start?
I think because Benelli is still a newcomer for this market, this is reason that step by step to give the best service, to convince our clients in the beginning is very important. Other work will finish automatically step by step.
All right, fair enough. Do you think that's key as well, to have a wider portfolio and not just one product at the start?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to put it this way, that we did think about starting with a small portfolio, maybe 2 or 3 products to introduce with. But then we realized that all the products that that we've introduced, of course the 899 and the 1130, these two are, well, they have stood the test of time. So they need to be here. They are our flagship models.
Flagships, yeah.
But at the same time, the 600s and the 300, that's where the dealers are actually going to earn the money, and well, it's a business cycle, and we have to make sure that we are present there, because business for me is not only about selling a motorcycle, but to making sure that my dealers as well as the consumers at the end, they are happy. And one way to keep a dealer happy is to give him more and more products to sell. And the best way to keep a consumer happy is to make sure that there are more dealers, so that the service network and everything else is taken care of. So for us it was important that we go out with the maximum possibility, and so far we found out that these 5 bikes are the best suited today. Of course, Benelli has got more to offer. They've got more products to come in, and hopefully within this year we would be able to introduce a few more of them.
So that's actually a fairly aggressive approach, because if you're saying within this year, that's pretty much the year of launch. We've also seen that kind of a response from the market. So it's important to be visible and be active like that in India as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely. I mean, well, it's like this is how my father puts it. When you are cooking a roti on the pan, if you're not going to rotate it, it's going to burn. So that's the cycle has to continue. If the manufacturer is not going to supply with more and more products, literally quarterly basis, especially in the two-wheeler segment, it's not going to survive. Simple as that. So that strategy, or that this model is what we are adopting, and we are fortunate that Benelli has got that much to offer us. So I think it's going to be great.
George, this whole point about smaller displacement bikes, which still carry the same kind of performance attribute or the same brand promise as some of the bigger ones, but which attract a different kind of buyer. In a market like India, that's important, maybe in Southeast Asia, perhaps in China as well to a certain extent. Is it important to keep the development of such products perhaps a little bit more on a priority?
I think small displacement segment is quite important for a brand. If want to become a famous brand, a welcome brand, so we must have this kind of the products. But maybe we will start this kind of process in the next step once our brand well accepted by the market. And also we are under discussion, always negotiate with DSK what is the correct time for us to enter this market.
What is the long-term strategy? I mean, how soon do you want to localize? How important is it to localize in India as well to be more price competitive?
Actually, there are a lot of strong competitors. We must respect all of the strong competitors. If we study of their success, all of the players are making the spare parts in India, so we must follow this way.
This is part of your strategy as well. I mean, there has to be a CKD plan, perhaps even a manufacturing plan in the long term, right?
Well, right now they're all CKDs, so the first step is achieved already, and long term.
Which was crucial, I think. You couldn't have started without that.
No, frankly, we wouldn't be able to compete. I mean, particularly in the 300 and the 600 segment, because that is where the competition
volume will come to.
Yeah, I mean that's why we need to be different. So unless and until we do that, it's not possible. And I think our prior experience helped, and I'm sure even Benelli agrees with that. That since we had that, it was easy for us to get it rolling so soon. So we just about 6 months, and we are in the market already. Including dealer network, of course, not just the CKD operations. But long-term strategy, yes, if you have to be successful and sustaining both at the same time in India on a long-term basis, you need to be as local as you can. So that is the bottom line. So, well, to be honest, it's too early for us to comment on it, that whether or not we will, when, how, where. But yes, localization will be important, and it is a part of our strategy, but there's time.
And could that be a combined strategy for the two brands you operate, or you think that's too early as well?
I mean, if you ask me as DSK, then I would want it, because then that gives me, I mean, it gives me a better space to work with. So I would want it, but again, the time is something that both of us have to jointly sit down and agree to, because we can't just say that okay, today we're starting localization and we want it in this time frame. It's difficult because we are not the established ones in the country like the others. So we're going to need our own time, we're going to need our own space. But yes, it's important for the both of us.